for those of you that are out there on the dating scene, and probably some other ones too, you already know the difference. A beige flag is something that, say you're dating someone, and you kind of look at them and you go, I don't know about this, but it's not a deal breaker. That's a beige flag. It's something that maybe you don't love, but it isn't something that's like, nope, don't go forward. A red flag, as we all know, is something that says, do not go there, run, don't walk. And what I want to look at are some of the beige flags and red flags that can exist in leadership, because there's a lot. It's not a dating relationship, but it is a relationship. The first one I want to talk about is understanding how someone takes critique. And this is with an understanding that not all critique is created equal. We do have a society where people really love to give their opinions. And some of them are helpful and some of them aren't, and that's fine. But the question isn't the critique that's given. The question is how it's taken. Because if you have someone that's kind of like, I don't really want to listen to you. This isn't really what I want to be hearing. I don't really care what you have to think. But they can come back around to it later and go, you know what? You were right. This was a really good idea. This is something that we really should have been thinking about. It means that maybe they're defensive for some reason. Maybe they had some ideas that were shot down in the past. Maybe they've taken other people's critique and it really didn't work well for them. Maybe they're just very defensive in general. But they're willing to get past that. They're willing to look at what's happening, look at the data on the table and say, yeah, you're right. You're right. I do tend to fly into people at meetings. You're right. Maybe this project isn't such a good idea, even though it's my pet project. That's a beige flag. Maybe we don't love it, but it's not a deal breaker because things are still getting done and getting done well. A red flag would be, it's someone that every time you try to critique them, they fly into a rage and go off the wall and want nothing to do with it. If you have someone who is unable to take critique at all, that's a huge sign that they are unable to self-reflect, that they are not self-aware, and they are unable to even begin to think that maybe something they're involved with is wrong. It usually shows a lot of insecurity. And unfortunately, there are some leaders that are very insecure, usually because they understand deep down that maybe they're not doing things as well as they could. Maybe they're not the best person to have in that leadership position. And from that point of view, that's a hard place to be for them as well. I mean, empathy would say, I understand that maybe you feel really insecure in this position, and I'm sorry. Maybe you were pushed into a position that you weren't really cut out for. Because not everyone is cut out to be a leader, and that's okay. It's a special skill set. Not everyone is cut out to be a software developer. Not everyone is cut out to be a mother. Not everyone is cut out to be a leader. That doesn't mean we can't learn. That doesn't mean that if it's something you really want to do, that you can't learn and get better at it. But it does mean that maybe we're not all naturally made for that. Like anything else. If we were all exactly the same, how boring of a planet would this be, right?